Welcome to the FastRead podcast. Today is Friday, February 20th, 2026. Here are your top ALPA and industry headlines. We still need your support in telling Congress to improve aviation safety by passing the Rotorcraft Operations Transparency and Oversight Reform, or Rotor Act, which addresses the concerns raised by last year's PSA Flight 5342 tragedy. Make your voice heard through our easy call to action system, which is linked in the show notes. Legislation was introduced in the U.S. House of Representatives that moves to implement many important recommendations contained in the National Transportation Safety Board's final report on the PSA Airlines Flight 5342 accident. Unfortunately, the legislation falls short by not implementing a critical NTSB recommendation to require the installation of ADS-B-in technology on aircraft. In response, ALPA President Captain Jason Ambrosi said in a statement, quote, ADS-B is a technology specifically designed to improve the quality of the surveillance data used by air traffic controllers, increase pilot situational awareness, and ultimately help prevent mid-air collisions. Recently, the NTSB found that if the PSA 5342 regional jet had been equipped, the pilots would have had approximately 1 minute to identify the approaching helicopter instead of 19 seconds. That difference could have saved 67 lives. ALPA President Captain Jason Ambrosi sent a message to U.S. ALPA members detailing the importance of meaningful reforms to ensure that the essential federal workers who safeguard aviation safety and security receive the pay and support they earn during a federal government shutdown. He says, quote, in the aftermath of the September 11th attacks, our country recognized that aviation security is intrinsically tied to national security. Rigorous screening and layered defenses were implemented to protect the flying public. Now, the dedicated professionals who carry out this critical mission, keeping our skies safe and our nation secure, are being forced to endure a second shutdown in just 6 months. His full statement is linked in the show notes. ALPA gained another pilot group this week as the Canada Industrial Relations Board certified the association as the bargaining agent for the pilots of Air Quebec, a Cree-owned airline operating in Quebec and Ontario. With every pilot group we welcome to our union, our united voice grows stronger, said ALPA President Captain Jason Ambrosi. We welcome Air Quebec pilots and look forward to working beside you, bringing ALPA's resources and expertise to support you and your careers. Quote, we are thrilled to add the pilots of Air Quebec. The addition of their unique voice to ALPA's ranks strengthens our presence in Quebec and further unites pilots from all regions of Canada, said Captain Tim Perry, ALPA Canada President. Nearly 30 ALPA pilot volunteers attended the association's grievance training seminar this week. During the 3-day conference, participants reviewed the nature of pilot disputes arising from potential violations of collective bargaining agreements and past practices, as well as disciplinary actions initiated by the airline. Discussions were led by seasoned attorneys from the union's representation department and veteran pilot grievance committee volunteers. Participants also engaged in drafting exercises, a mock initial grievance hearing, and a strategic grievance processing exercise. Look for additional coverage of the grievance training seminar in the March 2026 issue of Airline Pilot magazine. As part of ALPA's ongoing efforts to bridge the gap between the classroom and flight deck, Captain Ambrosi joined Education Committee Chair First Officer Justin DeHaan for an ACE Club meeting at Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University in Daytona Beach, Florida. His presentation to more than 60 college aviators brought ALPA's rich history to life, emphasizing how the union was founded for safety and has touched almost every aspect of the aviation industry. You can read more about the visit in the show notes. That's all for this edition of the FastRead podcast. Until next week, have a safe flight.
This podcast is brought to you by the Airline Pilots Association. ALPA supports its pilots through a variety of resources, including Pilots for Pilots, our emergency relief fund, where pilot donations help provide grants to those who have suffered from a widespread natural disaster. To donate, apply for a grant, or learn more, visit alpa.org/P4P.